fish and chips, what's not to love, I say. You go and have a chippy, you got a poker chips.
Oh, yeah, I love fish and chips.
Nice big... Oh, I beg your pardon.
Somebody on Twitter's agreeing with you.
There you go. You want as big a portion as you can get, I would think, but not everyone is agreeing. Are they, Isabel?
No, that's quite right, yeah. In fact, there's a new report out that's saying that they should be standardised portion sizes so that we can help to tackle the obesity crisis in this country. Well, let's talk to nutritionist Amanda Ursell about all of this. So the whole point is we don't know how many calories are in a portion of chips, but give us a worst-case scenario for a medium portion of fish and chips.
Well, what happened was there was a survey done just this week, and what they found, well, it was the Agriculture and Horticultural Development Board, and what they found, I've written the figures down, you have to forgive me because there's so many figures.
Quite
so
all right.
They looked at the variation in the size for a medium-sized portion. So you go into a fish and chip shop, say I had like medium cod and chips, and you could get anything from 230 calories for the cod up to 1,400 calories.
This is a battered cod.
The battered cod. So that's a huge difference just in the cod, just going, say, medium cod, please. And the chips went from 240 calories to 2,140. So, you know, depending on which fish and chip shop you went into, medium cod and chips, please, you've got this massive variation.
Yeah, but if you're really bothered about how many calories you're eating, you're not going to go for fish and chips.
Well, I'm not sure. You know, why not be able to go and have something like that and know what you're getting? I think that's the point of this. You know, we shouldn't be saying don't ever have fish and chips, because that really is nanny state.
But there is the problem with this is it's not practicable, is it?
Well,
I mean, we've had chippies tweeting along today, Merino Fish Bar, I think that was right, morning to you, saying we can't do it because we cut our own fish. And if you want a standardised portion, you've got to buy pre-cut fish.
Okay, I take your point, but there is actually an industry guideline for fish and chip shops, and that is 170 grams for cod, which is 420 calories, and 284 grams of chips, which is 680 calories. So there is actually an industry guideline there. And I know from a practical point of view it's difficult, but even if people were to get to roughly the same size, that would cut that huge difference that we were talking about initially down. So I don't think anyone wants to, you know, sort of make it a law that you have to serve a particular size portion, but there is an obesity crisis in this country. We do have an issue. So if we can start to make small changes across the whole food industry, it's like your Sky cycling team. Very small changes led to big outcomes in the bottom line. So I think, you know, we've got chocolate manufacturers now who've got standard sizes of chocolate bars which are no more than 250 calories per portion. There's a huge hoo-ha before they started doing that, but they've done it and consumers have accepted it. So I think there's a point which you can say, okay, we're moving in the right direction to get standardised portions is not as daft as it sounds initially.
Do you not think that fish and chips is, you know, it's a great British institution? It's a treat. It's not something that people do every single day. So if people are going to go all out, they're not going to be worrying about counting the calories. Just like your Christmas dinner, you don't want to know how many calories are in there. It's a treat.
For a lot of people, you're right, but some people do have it more regularly. But also, it sets a standard. So, for example, you might be having fish and chips out once a week, but you might be having fish and chips at work on a Friday, which is a big tradition in the work canteen or the work restaurant. So, if you've got in your head the size that you get served in a fish and chip shop, then you'll be expecting that when you go into your work canteen, and that might have a knock-on effect to what you serve at home if you were doing fish and chips at home. So I think there's a sort of a bigger picture here than just saying you've got to have this size because it's what you're going to eat in the fish and chip shop. It's an overall picture which...
I was going to say, I think it's a bit unfair just to be stigmatising the fish and chips, because I used to actually work in a fish and chip shop, believe it or not, when I was younger.
I can see that with the hairnet on.
What you were saying, it's a treat. It's not. There were the regulars coming in almost every evening, and it's not the fish that's the bad part, I don't think. It's the other things that they serve, the battered sausages, battered Mars bars, the pies, etc. And they would add that with their fish and chips, and that's what makes the portion bigger, and that's what makes it worse, in my opinion, because fish is protein at the end of the day. That's not bad calories.
Yeah, but battered fish, that's naughty.
Yeah, but if it's,
I think you have to look at this in the perspective of the Childhood Obesity Plan, which was published in August this year, and we've had a reformulation programme that's come from that, and it talks about portion sizes and the idea that the industry should just be looking at everything really. It's not just fish and chips, you're absolutely right. It's everybody standing back and taking responsibility, and you know, to help change the set point and our expectations, because we gradually crept up in portion size, and now all we're saying is let's try and gradually go down again to where we used to be, say, 20 years ago.
Well, Twitter doesn't agree, do they?
Sorry.
I have to say, yeah. Angela Fox says the obsession with calorie counting isn't helpful. Food can't be chosen by calories alone. Wrong message.
Well, I think that's right, but what we're saying is change the portion size so you don't have to worry about the calories.
Oh,
It'll
well.
be done for
Amanda,
you.
good to talk to you.
Thank you so
very
much.
much indeed. Keep your thoughts coming through.